Perhaps we haven't met. I'm Discord.
Another chaotic battle!
Taste the scream of death.
Greetings, comrades. This is 88 Gelu, and we're back with another of these chaotic Forged Unity pack opening videos. I believe this is number 6, and somehow I think I miscounted, but there seems to be an extra 25 packs, which means that there is going to be another video after this one. And then, of course, after that, there's going to be another video talking about all the rares and stuff that we found, all the cool new cards. But anyway, yeah, this time I think I figured out my little camera problem, so with that out of the way, let's start the video. Acroball, Muge's Tuning Fork, Avena, Shinado, Adaptive Progression, ooh, Quarters of the Quartet, that's a new one, no it's not, Alkali's Wisp, Valor Continuum, Pyrogenous Hearth, that's a second one. Now, let's see, we have Emswa, Instantaneous Inspiration, Newman Voidland, Turbaline, Kepian, I think this is a third Shard of Solitude. I'll put it with the others anyway. Alkali's Wisp, Magican Funnel Blast. Camagreth, Directed Bravery, Hoon Marquard, Illusionary Glissando, Interthink, Low Drool, Lake Morn, Valor Continuum, and the Storm Tunnel. So, anyway, I think I mentioned this in the last video, but if I didn't, hold on. Adaptive Progression, Shinado, Fearless Strike, Garlang, Ode to Obscurity, Kaibon's Mech Blade, Unbalanced Charge, Torna, Pyrogenous Hearth. But last time I said Cryomorph Barricade prevented Defender. The opposite is true. I was mixing it up with another card whose name I cannot currently remember. Cryomorph Barricade is actually very good at strengthening Defender. I think the main problem with the Defender deck is there just isn't too much you can do with it. Speaking of which, Cryomorph Barricade, Alacritus Force, Anarchiar, Mass Blink, Garlang, another Kaor the Fierce. This is absurd. We got a third one. Okay. Valor Continuum, Storm Tunnel, Torna. That is just freaking ridiculous. That one had 60 energy. I'm not sure if that's better or worse. Shinado, Fearless Strike, Mass Misabot, Inner Flood, Nivena, Indigo Sash, Power Cut, Thermo Ring, Magican. One card that I really wanted from this set, and I got 3 of him. That's just ridiculous on so many levels. Adaptive Progression, Smart Smack, Fearless Strike, Strengthening Bond. Oh, what's that? The North Range, Opus Opposed, sure. Unbalanced Charge, Glapal, Thermo Rings. I mean, I don't think there's anything that really works with Defender other than Cryomorph Barricade and Coral Balls. I mean, it's obviously very strategic because if any one of your creatures is outmatched and all of your guys have Defender, then you can just switch him up with someone that's a better match or someone that you don't care as much about dying. Ebica, Brave Glint, Acroball, Mass Blink, Garlang, Power Cut, Riverland Moon, Magican, Funnel Blast. I mean, it's a nice idea in theory, but I think there needs to be more to support it. Like, maybe if there are other cards that power up guys with Defender, which is totally possible, and I'm just not thinking of them right now. If any of you guys know about those kind of cards, please put them in the comments. I'll be very glad to hear them. Inflar's Improvisation, Camagreth, Directed Bravery, Bodal's Dagger, Fire Ring, the Storm Tunnel, Kaibon's Mech Blade, Geyser Gush, Torna. Do 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 do. And let's see what else we got. Shinado, Fearless Strike, Misabat, Monomorph Mayhem, Suriko, Ganem, Geyser Gush, Unbalanced Charge, Gorham's Briefing. Whew. This cannot be good for my back, but I sound like old man. Wiltrid, Inflar's Improvisation, Camagreth, Nivena, Monomorph Mayhem, Geyser Gush, Torna, Storm Tunnel, Kaibon's Mechblade. I really want to find a way to combo Camagreth's ability with, gosh, what's his name? Oh, this is embarrassing. I just forgot his name. Is it Nequin? It might be Nequin. But anyway, there's a Danian who gets all these powers when he is, unequipped, and then Ebica, Brave Glint, Acroball, Suriko, Turbaline, Valor Continuum, Marillion Pulse Beacon, Glapal, Thermo Rings. And of course, Camagreth gives creatures outperform power 5 if you control Danians and if they are unequipped. And Nequin is a Danian. The one problem is that Inflar's Improvisation, Camagreth, Directed Bravery, Intertwined Melody. Is that Intertwined Melody? Hold on. Hold on. Breaking the action. Yes, it is. Inner Flood, Unbalanced Charge, Gorham's Briefing, Funnel Blast, Load Roll. But I don't think Nequin has a very high power. Now, what would be an interesting thing to work out is comboing that with, what's it called? Putting a Corral Husk armor on... Names are escaping me today, and that's not good for giving people advice. Jig of Reinforcement, Ebica, Brave Glint, Monomorph Mayhem, Suriko, Alkali's Wisp, Valor Continuum, Storm Tunnel, Kaibon's Mechblade. Fudge, my brain just doesn't work. Which makes sense. I have a lot of clutter in my brain at the moment. Separating things is a bit troublesome right now. M-Swat, Instantaneous Inspiration, Newman Voidland, Illusionary Glissando, Interthink, Gorham's Briefing, Armbands of Lore, Thermo Rings, Pyrogenous Hearth. But even if I could get Nequin to have strong power without having a battle gear, doing that is still somewhat troublesome because Camagreth, for instance, has fire and earth. Nequin has water and air. They share absolutely 0 element types, and Nequin, when he's unequipped, gains untargetable and water 5. If there's no water attacks, that significantly reduces its value. Fearless Strike, Misabat, Jig of Reinforcement, Yuge's Tuning Fork, Mass Blink, Think Ray, the Storm Tunnel, Pyrogenous Hearth, Glapal. Now, of course, I could always just keep Camagreth in the back and she's not actually supposed to be a fighter, but still making, like, a water and power deck. I mean, it'd be strange. It'd be possible, but it'd be really strange. And after progression, Shinado, Fearless Strike, Garlang, Ode to Obscurity, another Gigan Trooper, Armbands of Lore, Alkali's Wisp, Lake Morn. Wonder how long this has been recording. This camera doesn't actually tell me how long it has been on. Inflar's Improvisation, another Camagreth, Directed Bravery, Mass Blink, Garlang, Unbalanced Charge, Gorham's Briefing, Pyrogenous Hearth, Glapal. Pretty sure we got Gorham's Briefing, Pyrogenous Hearth, and Glapal in that order at least 3 times in this video so far. And I don't even think we're done yet. I mean, halfway done. We're obviously not done yet. Smart Smack, Will Tread, Inflar's Improvisation, Ode to Obscurity, Strengthening Bond, Another Shard of Solitude, Kaibon's Mechblade, Ganem, Geyser Gush. Ugh. I don't think my brain is working well enough to be making these kinds of videos. I'm glad I'm not doing something more complicated like, I don't know, making a deck review. Alacritus Force, Anarchiar, Denying Dirge, Intertwined Melody, Inner Flood, Indigo Sash, Power Cut, Lake Morn, Clash Jet. Also, this video will be going out after quote-unquote Columbus Day. I say quote-unquote because Columbus was a real jerkface who doesn't deserve to have a holiday named after him. I prefer to call it Native American Memorial Day because of all the natives that were killed thanks to Columbus. Fearless Strike, Misabot, Cryomorph Barricade, Nivena, Monomorph Mayhem, Valor Continuum, Storm Tunnel, Geyser Gush, Torna. Except they might not actually be Native American, so I'm gonna have to look that up. They definitely were indigenous people, but they could have been like the indigenous peoples of Mexico or something other than Native Americans. Shinado, Fearless Strike, Newman Voidland, Interthink, Jory, Armbands of Lore, Alkalize Wisp, Funnel Blast, Low Drool. Where was I? So yeah, that's why I didn't have a video going out for then or for days other than Sunday because Jig of Reinforcement, Ebica, Brave Glint, Intertwined Melody, Inner Flood, Armbands of Lore, My Door's Not Closed, Alkalize Wisp, Thermo Ring, Magican. Excuse me while I close my door. Stinking disruptive people. Because I have a lot of work, I'm actually gonna be taking the ACTs in like 3 weeks from today. Well, 3 weeks from tomorrow, I should say. Brave Glint, Acroball, Adaptive Progression, Garlang, Ode to Obscurity, Gorham's Briefing, Armbands of Lore, Clash Jet, Ganem. Wait, no, I messed it up again because this video is coming out the following Sunday. So it's actually 2 weeks from tomorrow. Because I can maths. So yeah, because of testing and high school and other such shiz and getting ready for college, videos aren't as frequent right now. VDOV's voicing, MSWAT, Instantaneous Inspiration, Muge's Tuning Fork, Gravel Grind, Gorham's Briefing, Armbands of Lore, Pyrogenous Hearth, Glopal. So I hope you guys are okay with that, and I hope you guys that aren't as big of a fan of my chaotic content are okay with all these, or who aren't a fan of just watching me open packs aren't too upset by these pack opening videos, because I basically just want to finish them all so I can get the chaotic decks rolling, because I don't want to touch the supers until Acroball, Adaptive Progression, Shinado, Intertwined Melody, Inner Flood, Gorham's Briefing, Armbands of Lore, Funnel Blast, Low Drool, until I've gotten all of my supers and ultras so I can just show them all off at once and don't have to search around my cupboards for everything. I'm trying to relocate what has been placed in a potential deck. But yeah, that's why I'm trying to get as many of these through as possible. Fearless Strike, Misabot, Cryomorph Barricade, Avena, Skysong Apigo, Marillion Pulse Beacon, Indigo Sash, Low Drool, Lake Morn. But for all of you people who watch my channel for things other than chaotic, I'm trying to make it so there's at least like a 2 or 3 other videos in between them. Shinado, Fearless Strike, Misabot, Muge's Tuning Fork, Mass Blink, Gorham's Briefing, Armbands of Lore, Funnel Blast, Low Drool. I sure hope the voices of other people were not picked up by this camera, because I'm not sure if I have the patience to go through all of this content. I'm not sure if I have the time or the patience. Kalenka, Smart Smack, Will Tread, Carnival of Confusion, Heart Sink, Kaibon's Mechblade, Unbalanced Charge, Low Drool, Lake Morn. It looks like there's only another, I would say 16 or so packs. I'm gonna go with that number. So anyway, back to chaotic topics. Director Bravery, Shinato, Fearless Strike, Jory, Intertwined Melody, another Blue Gun Winter Warrior, Indigo Sash, Power Cut, Glapal. So I know that it has been suggested to me by a Speed Player A that instead of, I think it was Speed Player A, that instead of getting, for instance, 288 of these packs, to instead get Secrets of the Lost City, Shinato, Fearless Strike, Misabat, Heartsink, Avena, Armbands of Lore, Alkali's Wisp, Geyser Gush, Thermo Rings. And honestly, and this is because Secrets of the Lost City, I think, has the highest amount of different cards. They also don't have uncommons. Not sure if that has any relevance to it or not. Shinato, Fearless Strike, Misabat, Nivena, Monomorph Mayhem, Marillion Pulse Beacons, Indigo Sash, Magician, Funnel Blast. But the reason why I didn't want to is, well, A, there's just more cards in Forged Unity that I wanted that I didn't have. Not more cards overall, but hold on. Denying Dirge, Kalenka, Smart Smack, Jory, Intertwined Melody, another Tangneth Toborn. This one is 65. Indigo Sash, Power Cut, Thermo Rings. Now, to explain what I meant by that very vague statement, it is that, like, for instance, Secrets of the Lost City has more cards that I don't have, but Forged Unity has more cards that I want. So, that makes sense. And the other reason why I didn't get Secrets of the Lost City is because all of the really cool cards, meaning the past cards, Instantaneous Inspiration, Newman Voidland, Jig of Reinforcement, Avena, Sky Song Epigo, Unbalanced Charge, Gorham's Briefing, Funnel Blast, and Lake Morn. Is that most of the really cool cards, meaning the past creatures, 16 of which, probably around 16, I still don't have. Probably less, actually. And you can only get those in the starter decks. And the starter decks also come with a pack. Now, even though that means Fearless Strike, Newman Voidland, Cryomorph Barricade, Turboline, Mugis Tuning Fork, Gorham's Briefing, Armbands of Lore, Glapal Thermo Rings. Wow, I'm really good at cutting off my sentences. Is even though it'll be slower for me getting cards, period, I'm more, and even though it's probably more expensive in the long run, if it's the only way to get past creatures, and past creatures, apart from the high Muges, are mostly the cards that I care about, I may as well focus more on getting the past creatures and try and, you know, do both at the same time, even though it may be a longer and more tedious process. Smart Smack, Will Tread, Inflar's Improvisation, Turboline, Nivena, ooh, another Boam. This one is 50 energy. Armbands of Lore, Torna, Pyrogenous Hearth. I was about to say we didn't get our second Ultra, and then I remembered that I got my third Kaor the Fierce. Directed Bravery, Hunmar Quad, Vidav's Voicing, Mugis Tuning Fork, Mass Blink, another Bareth Beyond, 55 energy. Ganem, Geyser Gush, Gorham's Briefing. So, a few days ago, I played against my brother in Chaotic, and he had a Magmon Engulfed with also the... He had a fire deck with Magmon Engulfed that gives all of your guys with fire plus fire 5 and recklessness 5, and the Mepetian that makes all your creatures lose 10 recklessness. Hunmar Quad, Vidov's Voicing, Emswa, Surico, Turboline, ooh, another Lake Blakier. Marillion Pulse Beacon, Funnel Blast, Lodrul. Don't know why Lake Blakier is a super rare. It should just be a rare at maximum. At least I think. And anyway, back to the previous topic. So those fire decks are ones that I've seen before. I haven't made one of those myself yet, and that's something that I'm rather interested in trying. So maybe that will come up soon. Hunmar Quad, Vidov's Voicing, Emswa, Heartsink, Avena. Ooh, Unified Tribe Charge. That's a third Ultra. Clash Jet, Armbands of Lore, Alkali's Wisp. And that's also only our second Unified Tribe Charge. I have also seen... words. Vidov's Voicing, Emswa, Instantaneous Inspiration, Inner Flood, Nevena, Unbalanced Charge, Gorham's Briefing, Lodrul, Lake Morn. Speed Player A used the same Mepetian except with his Brainwash ability, which is creatures take 10 more damage from Recklessness. And he comboed it with Vexing Waveform, which is really cool. I really wish there was a way to combine that with Enrihep, but unfortunately there isn't. Acroball, Directed Bravery, Shinado, Carnival of Confusion, Heartsink, Unbalanced Charge, Gorham's Briefing, Lodrul, Lake Morn. But there isn't really, so I tried to basically do the same thing except for with Enrihep and 2... Is it? I have no idea who it is because my brain is working. If you look at the decks that I've made, it'll be there somewhere. It's a deck about creating recklessness, but it didn't function that well because my entire back team was vulnerable to attack. And it wasn't the best setup. I think I need to try and remake that at some point. Will Tread, Inflar's Improvisation, Chemagreth, Turboline, Muge's Tuning Fork, Riverland Moon, Thinkray, Pyrogenous Hearth, Glopal. Actually, I'm not sure if I ever made a video on that deck. I may have just made that deck in real life and realized how dysfunctional it was, and then I may have to remake it. It was Ribian, that was the name of the Mepetian that Speed Player A didn't use. The other one. Does the same thing except recklessness damage is increased by 5, which is why I tried to have 2 of them. Adaptive Progression, Shinado, Fearless Strike, Bodil's Dagger, Turboline, Valor Continuum, Marillion Pulse Beacon, Magician, Funnel Blast. There are Mugics that I know allow you to activate your... At least, I think there is at least one that allows you to activate your Brainwash ability temporarily. I really wish that the legendary Marillion Battle Gear, the Crown of Ani, wasn't loyal. Because if it wasn't, then it would be amazing. But because it is, it kind of sucks. At least I think it does. Shinado, Fearless Strike, Newman Voidland, Interthink, Jory, Riverland Moon, Thinkray, Lake Morn, Clash Jet. And the reason why I say it sucks is because, like, it's still useful, but what it does is the equipped creature counts as a chieftain, which would be amazing if you could put it in a non-Marillion minion deck, because then you could have creatures using their brainwashed ability without having to only use Marillions and minions. So you could do things like the combo with Enrihep. Ebica, Brave Glint, Acroball, Inner Flood, Nivena, Obstinato of Abonemre, Storm Tunnel, Lakemorn, Clash Jet. But because it is loyal, that means you can only use it. That means that you can basically equip it, and it would be useful if it was a deck of Flood Morphers, Corral, Minion, or any combination of those. If there's any chieftains in the deck, then the crown is immediately useless. Cryomorph Barricades, Ebica, Brave Glint, Heartsink, Avena, Geyser Gush, Torna, Think Ray, Marillion Pulse Beacon. And honestly, like, there's usually a good reason to put in Marillion Chieftains in a deck other than just to get the Brainwash text. Like, for example, a lot of them allow you to gain additional challenges, or to destroy creatures, or element proof. All of which are really useful and cool things. And I think that really out of all the legendary battle gear, it's the worst. To be fair, I don't think any of them are really good enough to be legendaries, except the Dread Tread, which is the Underworld one. Cryomorph Barricade, Ebica, Brave Glint, the Carnival of Confusion, Heartsink, Alkalize Wisp, Valor Continuum, Thermo Rings, Magician. And now I probably jinxed it, because the Crown of Ani is a card you can get in Forged Unity. The only legendary battle gear you can get in Forged Unity. All the other ones are in Turn of the Tide, which is another set that I need to get more cards in. Nisabot, Instantaneous Inspiration, Brave Glint, Monomorph Mayhem, Sirocco, Marillion Pulse Beacon, Indigo Sash, Pyrogenous Hearth, Glapal. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are definitely most likely good ways to use the Crown of Ani, but I still think it's by far the worst of the legendary battle gears. Now, let's just review what good hauls we got. We got another Tangnith Toborn. I think this one's like the 5th. Another Lake Blake here. I think that's the 3rd or the 4th. Bareth Beyond, also like the 4th or the 5th. Gigan Trooper, I think the 3rd or the 2nd. Boam, the 2nd. Obstinato of Abonemre, 2nd or 3rd. Opus Opposed, 3rd or 4th. Shard of Solitude, 3rd. What does this shard even do again? Equipped creature gains 5 energy. If the equipped Corral is unengaged, creatures cannot play musics or activated abilities. While equipped creatures engaged, unengaged creatures cannot play musics or activate abilities. So that's actually really good at stopping a lot of the burn decks, because a lot of people like to use burn decks with like Copon and Almar, the Parathon Racer, which then can do tons of damage to your creatures without having to engage them. So that's a nice way to prevent that. Kaor the Flippin' Fierce, 60 energy. Shard of Solitude, again. Quarters of the Quartet. Oh, that's a really nice ability. Unified Tribe Charge, and Blue God. So what this does, I mentioned it in a previous video when I first got it, is initiative music counters. If you control exactly, while a player controls exactly 4 tribes, their creatures are untargetable by opponents. So there we go, a nice little haul. Nothing new, but then again, I didn't really expect anything new since there's only 2 cards that we haven't gotten. There's still a whole nother 25 packs. But who knows? we don't get it, it's not that bad. If we do, that would be great. I hope I didn't just jinx myself, but I am superstitious, so who knows, we'll have to find out. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. If you guys have any deck ideas or just anything constructive to say in the comments, I would be glad to read it and respond to it. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. Goodbye.